Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is the second T. Kingfisher book I have read this year, and I'm kind of obsessed. Like, I literally had to stop myself from ordering arguably every T. Kingfisher book I could buy on Amazon, because she just writes in such an incredible fashion. But before I continue to gush about that, the plot. So this ultimately follows the story of Princess Mara, who is the prince's third daughter of a very small seaside kingdom, where ultimately she's sent off to a nunnery while her oldest sister is sent off to marry the Prince Vorlag and tragically dies in an accident, and then her sister Kanya is sent to marry said prince again because they are trying to strengthen the alliance and keep the small port city safe. So Mara spends most of her life, basically from ages 15 to 30, in a convent, not fully as a nun, but basically kind of learning how to embroider, learn how to, give birth to babies. That's just kind of how she is. She lives in solitude, and basically she appears every once in a while when Kanya has a baby, or gets pregnant, things like that, to go back, see her sister. And basically one day, Mara goes to see Kanya when she's pregnant and sees that she has bruises on her wrist, and it's very clear that the prince is abusing her, and Kanya reveals that basically, she, stays pregnant so she's less in danger, and Mara decides to go on this quest to save her sister and to get rid of the prince, and so she goes on this very odd adventure with a very odd cast of characters, leading to, trying to save her sister. And what I will say is I love that this is a woman that is literally 30 years old. It is so nice to see a main character that is not 19 years old going on some weird journey. I like that Mara's 30. I'm about to be 30. It really resonated, I feel like, differently than when I read about much younger main female characters. That was so nice. And the fact that arguably everybody was over the age of 30 was incredible. The characters you meet, there's two elderly women that are on this quest with her. There's a middle-aged man who's on this quest, and I think that that's just incredible, and it's really refreshing. T. Kingfisher writes in such a way that literally, truly encapsulates, she gets it. She gets how to write a dark fairy tale. While this isn't specifically a fairy tale retelling, it feels so familiar to me as a, fairy tale vibe. I don't know how T. Kingfisher does it to truly encapsulate the fairy tale vibe, because I feel like so many people try to do that, and it kind of falls flat, and it just feels like a retelling. It just kind of feels like a dark fantasy, and it just doesn't have that, I guess, charm and mystery that kind of, fairy tales have, like a Brothers Grimm situation. But T. Kingfisher is somehow able to nail that tone to a T. And at the same time, as much as this story is quite dark, quite harsh, it is so comforting, weirdly, at the same time, because it feels familiar. It feels like childhood, but totally made for an adult audience. And I love that. I love that nostalgia factor and how she encapsulates this. I think it's great because there really isn't a romance plot in this book. I thought that was very refreshing. And don't get me wrong, I love a good romance in my fantasy, and I love a romantasy. But it was really nice that it wasn't the main focus. There's a little bit of a hint of maybe, but nothing even happens. And I think that that's great too. So if you're looking for something that's truly a story about a woman that is not 17, 18, 19 years old, there's no romance, and it's just great plot and great dark fantasy fairy tale vibes, Nettle and Bone is absolutely perfect for you. And this is another one that is on Kindle Unlimited if you have it. And now I need to continue to stop myself from buying more T. Kingfisher books because I just want all of them. I might be my new favorite author now after 2 books. But seriously, Nettle and Bone is great. It's awesome. It's a 5-star read for me, for sure.